What's up, boys? Without any content material going on in the UFC right now, I have to share a take with you guys that I just came up with after UFC 317 and after just seeing Ilia Topuria kill Charles Oliveira in the octagon. And that is, Ilia Topuria will be the future greatest fighter of all time. He's almost there already. But I think when his career is all said and done, we will be calling him the GOAT. We will be calling Ilia Topuria the GOAT. GSP will not be the GOAT anymore. It will be Ilia Topuria. And I have 3 points why. I think Ilia Topuria dominates lightweight. Already gets him almost there. And also, I think he beats Islam as well. Beats Islam, knocks out Islam, makes it look easy. And then, it's just a question that I have for Ilia. And that is, can he beat JDM at 170? And then I have slides I'm going to go through every single topic that I'm picking. But let's go. We're starting off with the first topic. Why Ilia dominates lightweight. Number one, the check. Best boxing in the division. Out of everybody in the lightweight division, it is very obvious that Ilia has the best boxing in the division. We knew he had the best boxing probably in the whole UFC when he was coming up at featherweight and just beat Josh Emmett and then Slimes, Volk and Holloway at featherweight. And then now he's moved to lightweight. It's obvious that he's the best boxer in the division. Number two, heaviest hands in the division. This power that Ilia possesses, the question has been answered. And that power can translate to lightweight. It did translate to lightweight. It transferred in crazy fashion and putting out Charles badly, out cold. And yeah, man, that question has been answered, is that will his power transfer to lightweight? And it has. We've seen it, and we know now that he has this power that can put out Charles Oliveira out cold. And that's the thing is about that, what makes that impressive. People knock Charles Oliveira down. People knock him down. They don't knock him out. They don't knock him out with one shot. Ilia Topuria did. Nobody in the UFC, nobody has done that to Charles Oliveira. And as fans, we've never seen Charles go down like that. We never seen Charles get put out like that. That has never happened in Charles's career. But who did it? Ilia Topuria. So not only is power transferred, it seems like it got better. It got even more devastating. And I think his power has gotten better. Like he said in the Joe Rogan interview, I think when I touch Charles at 155 with my power, he's going to explode. And he did. He busted all over him. But anyways, moving on to my next point. Best fight IQ in the division. And what I mean by that is that Ilia, he's smart. He knows his strengths and weaknesses. He knows the game he's going to play. He knows how he's going to win the fight and how he's going to beat his opponents. He knows his opponents' weaknesses. He knows what's going to get him out of there. And that's what he'll do. Ilia's not dumb. He's not going to do dumb shooting for dumb takedowns. He's not going to win on the feet and then shoot for a takedown. He's not going to do that. Ilia is the smarter guy. And what I should have put right here is that best fight IQ, because the only people he's going to fight right now in the lightweight division that I see is Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. Out of the three, this guy is obviously the smarter fighter. Obviously the guy who's just knows what to throw, what to do to mix up his opponents. Mix them up, like confuse them, get him worried about one thing, and then hit him with the next thing. Get him worried about the body, and then you go to the head. Get him worried about the head, and then you go to the body. And then get him worried about the leg kicks, and then you throw a body kick, which Ilia's never done. We might see it. I don't know. But right now, I think Ilia obviously has the best fight IQ in the division. No one really talks about his fight IQ, but I think he has the best. Being able to time Holloway and really time and be able to figure out and land that slap 2 that ultimately hurt Holloway. It is great to figure out his range like that with that slap 2 and able to figure out his range with the body shot with the jabs against Charles Oliveira. He always finds his range. He always tries to implement his game, and he doesn't find any other shortcuts around it. He goes the right way, gets it there. Overall, dominates with his fight IQ. Moving on. Best chin out of Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. Arman got rocked by Joaquim Silva with the right hook over the top. And that's really the only thing we've seen from him. Paddy, I think if hit with the right shot, he's going down. It's kind of like he's never really fought anybody that's going to put his lights out like that at lightweight. So other than Michael Chandler, but Michael Chandler is a shitty fighter. He's not good. Washed. Yeah, it was obvious that Paddy was going to win that fight. Of course. And then Gaethje. Gaethje just got put out at UFC 300. Gaethje got dropped by Charles Oliveira. Gaethje got knocked out by Dustin Poirier. Gaethje got rocked by MJ, Michael Johnson. So, out of everybody, the only reason why we see Ilia get rocked, and it's a crazy shot, like the Jai Herbert head kick would knock Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje out. I think that if Paddy got hit with that, if Gaethje got hit with that, if Arman got hit with that, they would be knocked out. They would go out cold. And then Ilia took it on the chin and was able to recover. That recovery of Ilia Topuria is crazy. Crazy recovery from Ilia. And yeah, we've seen Ilia take big shots. And then his latest fight against Charles Oliveira, nobody really saw that, but he took an elbow straight on the lip jaw area and looked unfazed at 155 from Charles Oliveira. I think out of everybody on this list, Arman, Paddy, or Gaethje, that rocks them. That rocks their fucking world. That crazy right elbow from Charles Oliveira. And Ilia just ate it. He ate it just effortlessly, dude. He just ate it. And out of everybody, Arman getting rocked by Joaquim Silva. Paddy just hasn't really been hit by the greatest fighters in the division. Gaethje has been knocked out, has been dropped before. So, and who do we see Ilia get dropped by? Jai Herbert, but that is the head kick that came out of nowhere that would drop anybody, that will knock out anybody. So, out of everybody, best chin out of Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. And that really comes to Ilia's defense. Ilia's defense is the best in the lightweight division. Out of everybody, I think he's going to fight. He has the best defense as well. And that's why he doesn't get hit that much. I think he has the best chin because he doesn't really get hit. And really just taking so many shots on the chin, getting hit so much, it really just weathers your chin. And Ilia has taken that big shot against Jai Herbert, but his defense has improved so that he doesn't really get hit a lot whatsoever. And yeah, that defense is great. The chin is great. Out of everybody, he's really going to fight. And moving on, dude. Best leg kicks out of Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. Paddy tries to go was throwing leg kicks against Chandler, and they were ugly. They were ugly, and when he was throwing those leg kicks, there was no setup, really. It was just blind throwing leg kicks, but since Chandler is not good, since Chandler is shitty, since Chandler is just a little blockhead who works out, who's a very explosive guy, but just can't really seem to put together his brain cells in his brain. Paddy was throwing those blind leg kicks and doing good, but that does not work against a Gaethje. That does not work against an Arman. That's not gonna work. So, an Arman, I don't really remember him or see him throw a lot of leg kicks. So he doesn't really throw him. He tries to get the striking get on the feet, mixing it up with the body kicks, and then shooting for the wrestling. Gaethje, obviously we know Gaethje about those leg kicks as well, cracking Holloway's legs with the leg kicks, and really just crackles anybody's legs with the leg kicks. Fasiv, everybody. But what can I say about Ilia Topuria is that he sets them up well. And they're devastating. Even though we don't see him stopping anybody with his leg kicks, they're so clean, set up well, and they're devastating, dude. Devastating, and they're really powerful. And out of Arman, Ilia has those better leg kicks. Paddy, Ilia has better leg kicks. Gaethje just goes full power leg kick, shin to shin. He doesn't care. But that leaves him open on the feet. When I see Ilia throw a leg kick, he has his guard up, and he sets it up well, which doesn't leave him open on the feet. Gaethje blindly throws those leg kicks, which cause him to get dropped by Charles Oliveira. And yes, Gaethje might have more steam on the leg kicks, but Ilia sets him up well, and people don't see him coming. He blinds him with the jab and goes for the leg kick. Blinds him with the two, goes for the leg kick. Ilia's leg kicks are so set up well, and just sneaky and not powerful at the same time, and great technique as well, which makes him more devastating out of those three. And I think will make a big difference in their fights against someone like Paddy, bigger guy, and Gaethje, bigger guy, Arman. More seeing it from Paddy and Gaethje. I think Ilia's leg kicks will have good effectiveness. And yeah, moving on, dude. Most discipline out of Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. Arman, not really in the cage, not really disciplined. You see me out eating caviar, $1,000 worth of caviar, just fucking around, dude. Arman's just diddle-daddling around, fucking around. And yes, I see him out there doing fucking neck exercises and stretches and stuff like that, but this man's not in the cage. This man's not fighting. This man's not active. This man's not only in the gym and nothing else, dude. He's out eating. He's out doing this. He's out with the cars, the activities. Arman has money. His dad has money. It's like, my dad have a construction business from Russia. Basically means that his dad's in the mob. So he has that money. He doesn't need fighting. He doesn't need it, but he chose it. And he doesn't need it. He has a lot of other business avenues. Ilia does as well, but Ilia is fully invested into the fight game and being the greatest of all time. He's fully invested into doing that. And Paddy Pimblett, we all know, Paddy Pimblett looks like a fucking balloon when he's outside of camp, dude. This man's stuffing face with burgers land, stuffing his face with hot dogs land. Honestly, your American breakfast is really shit. Like, this man's judging food, certified food critic, getting blown up. Remember that picture of him, like, at the fucking baseball game, dude? This man blows up outside of camp. Blows up badly, dude. And Paddy's fight camps are really just camps for him to lose weight. Not focusing on really getting better, not focusing on, what do I need to do to beat Ilia Land? He's like, oh shit, I need to make weight. I need to make 155. And that's basically his whole camp. Whole camp is just trying to make weight, trying to lose the weight, not really staying in shape and being in the gym all year round. Paddy's just camps are just lose weight and fight. Ilia's camps are focusing on a certain aspect of his opponent that he's going to exploit to get his W, to get his opponent against the fence. Paddy's not doing that. He's focusing on losing weight his whole camp. Gaethje, you know, he's more disciplined out of Arman and Paddy, but Gaethje is out there golfing, he's out there fishing, you know, doing all the American shit. You know what I mean? But Gaethje, I do see him getting high. He was fucking stoned that one time at the one UFC. I don't know if you guys remember, but he was stoned out of his fucking mind. And Ilia doesn't do that, bro. Ilia is in the gym. He's a wake up, gym, business, eat, sleep, man. That's all it is for Ilia. So out of everybody, the most disciplined out of those three. And my last point. Worries everyone about the boxing, but he is just as dangerous on the ground. What we see in him again do against Charles Oliveira, not dropping Charles Oliveira, but reversing the throw on Charles Oliveira, passing the guard of Charles Oliveira, getting Oliveira in a crucifix. Who did that to Charles Oliveira? Islam Machachev did that against Charles Oliveira. And seeing Ilia do that against a dry, warmed up Charles Oliveira, soon as, you know, early in the fight, Charles Oliveira, it's crazy. It's a lot more significant than people are giving it credit for, man. And Ilia being able to pass the guard of Charles Oliveira and ultimately get him in that crucifix position, just what is he going to do to Gaethje? What is he going to do to Arman and Paddy? Arman gets caught in submissions. Gaethje can't grapple whatsoever. Paddy has the best chance in this pure jiu-jitsu fight. You know, man. And everyone's going to be worried about the boxing. Arman, Paddy, Gaethje, they'll be fighting skittish. Maybe not Gaethje because he's retarded, but everyone's going to be fighting skittish and worried about the boxing on the feet. But Ilia, just as good on the ground, man. Just as good on the ground. Able to get past Charles Oliveira's guard, get him in a crucifix. I can only imagine what this guy can do when there's more time for him to work on the ground. And he fully commits his camp or a good portion of his camp to just grappling, like against Gaethje. And he can submit Gaethje. I think he can outsmart Paddy on the ground and submit him too. I think he can catch Arman in a Darce choke. Like, this guy, I think he can catch out of all those three in a submission, in a deep submission. Maybe Paddy will be able to get out, but Arman, he almost tapped that Charles Oliveira guillotine, and nobody really taps the guillotines or almost gets submitted by guillotines at the highest level. And I'm not saying Arman's not high level, but what we've seen on the highest level is that people don't tap the guillotines. Guillotines don't really work. Everybody can really get out, but Arman almost tapped to that. So I can only imagine what Ilia can find on the ground. Is either Darce, Anaconda. He has really good Darce choke, Anaconda chokes, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, he can catch Arman in that. Paddy, he can overall dominate Paddy on the ground and just mixing the ground and pound, which will really just overwhelm Paddy on the ground. Paddy be trying to throw up submissions, but Ilia, he won't. He will stack. He'll posture back in Paddy's guard and make sure that doesn't get caught in submissions. He'll pass the guard. Gaethje, he'll just fucking kill him on the ground, dude. And yes, they're worried about the boxing, but Ilia can mix it up, and he mixes it up well, man. So that's why I think Ilia dominates lightweight. Those are all my points. I think they're really good points out for the division and the three people that he's really going to be fighting that I think he's going to be fighting, which is Arman, Paddy, and Gaethje. So that's why I think Ilia dominates lightweight. Overall, becomes one of the best lightweights of all time. I think a true lightweight, best lightweight ever, is beating true 155 competition. Is best. I mean, honestly, maybe not, because he doesn't have a Dustin Poirier on his record. He doesn't have a Dustin Poirier on his record. He doesn't have a. He wouldn't have that, but right now, he's going to have an Arman if he fights all three, which is probably not going to happen. Probably only fight 2 out of the 3. When he fights Arman, beats Paddy or Gaethje, when it's compared to Islam Makhachev's resume, which is Volk twice, and Dustin Poirier, and Renato Moicano, Charles Oliveira. Volk at lightweight, the second time, yes, he knocked him out, but again, Volk doesn't have a full camp. But again, Volkanovski, Renato Moicano, who is a decent, good ranked lightweight, and then you got Dustin Poirier and Charles Oliveira. I think Ilia can give Islam a run for his money if he beats all three of these guys in crazy dominant fashion. Like beating an Arman, let's say by first or second round TKO, beating a Paddy by first round KO, and then beating a Gaethje by first round KO, after beating Charles Oliveira by first round KO. If these wins are just as dominant as the Charles Oliveira win, he'll be the greatest. Because Islam, he makes these fights close. He almost loses in every single one of these fights. Almost loses. Gets dropped in the 5th round against Volk. Has a war with Dustin Poirier. And Renato Moicano, blah, 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 whatever. Yes, Ilia. And then what Islam did to Charles Oliveira. Got out the first round, had the drop, then submit Charles Oliveira. Didn't put him out. Ilia, what did he do? He negated the grappling, did better in the grappling. He able to stand back up and catch Oliveira on the feet, put him out cold, and won. And did Islam do that? No. Ilia made it look a lot easier, and I think he'll make everybody else look a lot easier, which will add to his legacy of being really just unbeatable at lightweight. So Ilia, if he fights these three and beats him in dominant fashion, he give good Islam a run for his money. But probably not going to happen. And yeah, that's why I think Ilia dominates lightweight. Now we're going to move on to slide 3. Slide 2. Let me see if that's good. Okay, that's good. Why Ilia beats Islam. My second point. Why Ilia beats Islam. And having Islam on that resume will make him probably just the GOAT already. I mean, if he beats Arman, Paddy, or just say Arman and Paddy. But we're looking at his resume already. Bryce Mitchell, Josh Emmett. If Yusuf Zalal becomes something big, he'll have Yusuf Zalal on his record. And Volk, Holloway, Oliveira, Arman, Paddy, Islam. That already puts you up there at number 2, number 1 area. Like, dude, that will, if Ilia ends his career like that, greatest ever, in my opinion. Greatest ever. And why Ilia beats Islam? Why do I think Ilia beats Islam? Let's start with the first point. Islam has never been hit by Ilia. Islam was he wasn't getting pieced up by Poirier, but Poirier was caught him with like a 1-1-2. That was like the biggest shot that Poirier had in that fight. Islam got dropped by Volkanovski, okay? You got dropped by Volk. Volk's not really known for dropping people, man. And yeah, dude, and Islam's hittable, man. He's hittable. Everyone is, but Islam is hittable. And if he's getting dropped by Volk and getting caught by Dustin Poirier and having a war with him, I can only imagine what Ilia can do, bro. Ilia will molest Islam on the feet, bro. Islam has never been hit by Ilia Topuria. Never been hit. What do we say about Max Holloway? I think he'll beat Topuria. You know, he just outclass him, everything. What happened? What happened to Holloway? He got hit by Ilia Topuria. And what happened? He got knocked the fuck out. So, we say the same shit. If we come in with the same narrative, like, you know, Islam's going to overall out-tentacle him on the feet, you know, just a lot more dynamic in the striking and mixing the body kicks and the teep kicks and the 1-2s down the pipe. Everyone has a plan until they get fucking punched in the face. And Ilia will rock Islam if they fight. He will catch Islam on the feet, and Islam will go jelly leg like Kevin Lee. Islam's never been hit by Ilia Topuria. He's never been hit by him. Never. And when he does hit Islam, Islam's going to fucking feel it, and he's going to know. He's going to want to get this fight to the ground, which he has his best chance. But that comes to my second point. Ilia does not care where the fight goes. He does not care where the fight goes. He doesn't care. Ilia has that mentality to where he's better everywhere than his opponent. He's like, he doesn't give a fuck that Charles Oliveira is going to try to submit him. He's like, all right, well, I'm going to fucking get on top of Charles Oliveira. When he goes down to the ground and I reverse his throw, I'm not going to immediately get back up to the feet. I'm going to pass his guard and put him in a fucking crucifix and then land elbows on him. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the danger on the ground because he thinks he is better everywhere. I'm better in the striking. I'm better in the grappling. And I'm better in the wrestling. Ilia has that confidence, and he is like knows deep down that he is better than everyone everywhere. So he doesn't care where the fight goes. And then Islam is going to care where that fight goes. He's not going to want to fight Ilia on the feet. He's going to want to go on the ground. But guess what? Ilia doesn't give a fuck that he wants to take him down. He doesn't give a fuck that Islam is going to be diving in on his legs. Ilia doesn't give a fuck that Islam is going to be trying to submit him and ground pound him, dude. Ilia does not give a fuck. He doesn't care. Does not care. Because he believes truly in himself that he is better everywhere than anybody. So he doesn't care, but Islam does. My next point. Islam can't hurt Ilia on the feet. Ilia has been caught with some crazy fucking shots. Elbow from Charles Oliveira. Good twos down the pipe. Elbows from Max Holloway. Crisp jabs from fucking Volk. You know, whiffing bombs on the guard from Josh Emmett. Out of nowhere, a head kick by Jaya Herbert, but he recovered and able to get the takedown and later knocked his ass out later in the fight. But what is Islam really going to try to do on the feet, man? Twos down the pipe, hooks, uppercuts. He's not hurting Dustin Poirier. He's not hurting Volk on the feet. I mean, I'll take it back. He did drop Volk in that first fight to a knee. So, but Volk, he doesn't have as good as chin as Ilia. So, and I truly think that Islam cannot hurt Ilia on the feet. Ilia has been hit by the biggest shots. He's been hit by harder shots than Islam ever has. Other than Islam getting fucking knocked out. And Islam got dropped by Volk, bro. He got dropped by Volk. Is Ilia gonna get dropped by fucking Volk with a two down the pipe? No. Is Ilia gonna fucking put Islam's lights out like Pantoja. Dude, you know who beat Islam? Pantoja. Fucking Brendan Schaub. Yes, dude. Islam can't hurt Ilia on the feet. Ilia's been hit with everything. He's been hit with it all. Knees up the middle, head kicks, big whiffing right hands, elbows. He caught it all on the feet, but he took it like a fucking champ. Took it like a champ. What happened to Islam when he got pieced up by Poirier or he got hit with that 1-1-2? He's like, ugh. What happened to Islam when he got hit with that 2 from Volk? He's like, ugh. Islam crumbled, man. He crumbled. He crumbled against Volk. Dropped by Volk. And then I think Ilia is going to hits harder than that fucking nobody that knocked out Islam back then. I'm sure Ilia hits 10 times harder than that fucking fool. So it's just Islam just cannot go trade fucking. He can't go like hook for hook, right hand for right hand with Ilia because he cannot hurt Ilia on the feet with anything he throws. Ilia's going to have that high and tight guard when Islam tries to throw a fucking leg kick. Ilia's going to be blocking that body kick with his fucking elbow because he has that great guard, that great defense. Ilia's going to be slipping out of the way of Islam's shots and then overall just winning the exchanges but winning bigger power on the inside, in the pocket against Islam. He's going to catch him with those dipping and ripping right hands over the top. Slipping and ripping. The slap twos he caught Holloway with. He's going to catch Islam with the same shit. But what does Islam got for him? 2 down the pipe. Uppercut. Crafty upper hooks and hooks. Double jab. Like, bro. You trying to knock out Ilia, bro? Islam's not going to do it, man. He does not hit hard enough. If he throws a head kick, tries to throw a crazy head kick, Ilia's going to block it with his forearms or his elbow, man. That's really it, man. Islam will fight scared. Islam's going to fight scared because he cares where the fight goes. Like I said earlier, he cares where the fight is. Ilia doesn't. So Islam, he's going to be skittish, backing up to the fence because he's scared of that trading with Ilia in the pocket. And he's going to be shooting takedowns, just diving for his fucking life against Ilia because he's scared. He's scared. He's scared of Ilia. He's scared of his power. He's scared of it all, man. And he will fight scared, and we will see it in the fight. We will see when Ilia is pushing him against the fence. He's just gonna back up. He's not thinking about, oh shit. No, he will be thinking about it when he's getting backed up against the fence. Because if he gets behind that black line against the octagon, bro, he's shooting a takedown, or he's trying to mix it up to get him out of there. He's circling. He's getting out of there. And he's going to be backing up on the back foot this whole fight. And he's going to be shooting takedowns and trying to be rangy, trying to keep it at range with the front kicks. Because he's scared to get into the pocket with Ilia. He's going to fight scared, and Ilia's going to play on that. And Ilia's going to find his fucking moment, man. He's going to find it because Islam's fighting scared. And Ilia, the fight IQ, dude, that fight IQ, he will... No, he's going to shoot a takedown right here. He's going to try and mix it up. I'm going to throw an uppercut as soon as he dips down. I'm going to level change when I'm throwing strikes, when he's backing up against the fence. I'm going to level change with the jabs. I'm going to level change with the slips. I'm going to level change with that. So if he shoots in, I'm going to be already down to his level, and I'm going to shove him off. Ilia has the fight IQ. And Islam's going to fight scared, and Ilia's going to play on that, man. Ilia's going to play on that and exploit that. Moving on. Islam made old Dustin look good. Islam made old Dustin look like he still got it. Made him look like he still got it, man. And that fight was way too close for us thinking that Islam's just unbeatable. That fight was way too close. Way too close. Islam should have got him out of there in round 2 or 3. Islam, it took till round 5 to finish Poirier with a Darce choke. After, locking up fucking old Dustin's fucking replaceable hip. Locking it up and throwing his leg over, and then Dustin had no choice but to fucking just go with it because he's locked up and can't move his fucking hips. He made old Dustin look good. I think Ilia fucking kills Dustin, bro. Benoit Saint Denis was doing good against Dustin Poirier. I think Ilia kills Dustin Poirier on the feet. Ilia catches Dustin Poirier on the feet. Dustin wobbles a little bit, and then Ilia follows up with a fucking left hook to a 2 and puts him down out cold, man. And stiffens him with a hammer fist from hell. And Ilia is just he makes Dustin look easy. Islam was struggling. He couldn't get him down. He couldn't get the submission. He was just getting fucking switched and everything, man. He made old Dustin look good, and that's not a good thing. Dustin's about to fucking retire his next fight. And his last fight, he made it look close against Islam, who's supposed to be the best pound for pound in the world right now. Dustin made him look human. And what does Ilia do? Ilia kills Dustin Poirier, man. On the feet, anywhere. And that alone, making old Dustin look good, look like he still got it, is not a good thing for you. Doesn't look good for you. Yes, it was a war, it was entertaining, but what happened? You were getting caught on the feet. You got fucking cut up on with an elbow, bloodied all over. And yeah, dude. And Dustin, he doesn't have that good takedown defense because, again, he has a replaceable hip. He's not primarily a grappler. He does a black belt jiu-jitsu, but brother, who giving this? That's what all I got to say about Dustin Poirier's jiu-jitsu. And yeah, dude, moving on. Ilia will show levels on the feet. This is obvious. Levels on the feet, levels in the boxing, levels in those fucking sneaky leg kicks. He's going to show levels. Levels with all of that. Like I said, those fucking slap twos down the pipe, those slap twos, delayed left hook you get hit Max Holloway with. And moving on, dude, I already explained why Ilia is showing levels on the feet. Ilia will back up Islam to the fence after stuffing takedowns. So like I said, Islam's going to fight scared, backing up to the fence, gets behind that black line, shoots a takedown. Ilia stuffs it because he's throwing and changing levels. Like the jab to the body, he's changing levels. Jab to the head, he's changing levels. He's low all the time. And after he stuffs that Islam's takedown, he's going to push him back and get him against the fence and then cut him off. Islam's going to try in a circle, but Ilia's going to cut him off. And he's going to land his signature hooks to the body, hooks to the head, hooks to the head, hooks to the body on Islam. And he's going to hurt Islam to the body, or he's going to fucking knock his ass out like Bolt or Max or Jai Herbert, or like how he dropped Bryce Mitchell, or yeah. It always happens against the fence, and then he's going to get Islam there because Islam's going to be scared, and Ilia's going to be stuffing those takedowns because he's changing levels with his strikes. And that's why I think Ilia beats Islam. Islam, you cannot, and I should have put another point on here. You know, obviously, Ilia has the grappling to stifle Islam's grappling. So, yeah. We know that by right now because we saw the Charles Oliveira fight. Islam did the same thing to Charles Oliveira. So these two are kind of on the same level when it comes to grappling. And then Ilia can stifle that because he is the shorter guy overall. So, yeah. Moving on. Can Ilia beat Jack Della Maddalena at 170? Can he beat JDM at 170? This is an overall question. He beats Islam after beating Armin Patty and Gaethje in crazy fashion. And he says, fuck it. I'm already one of the greatest of all time already, or the greatest of all time, depending on how he beats those four I mentioned. And he's like, fuck it. Can I beat Jack Della Maddalena and try to get that welterweight belt to become triple champ? Can he beat JDM? I'm not confident in Ilia beating JDM, but it's a possibility. So right here I got pros, questions, and cons. And obviously, I'm going to start with the pros, work my way down to the cons, explain my points made. So my pros for Ilia. Ilia's confidence. It seems like when he puts his mind to something and he's going in there and he's down on the odds and people think he's going to lose like they did against Volk or Max, he just shuts him up because he has that confidence. This man was celebrating his win before he knocked out Charles Oliveira. That's confidence. That's confidence in himself because he knew that he was better than Charles Oliveira anywhere. He knew how he was going to finish Charles Oliveira, how he was going to beat him, and he knew that he was going to win. He knew he was going to win, so he was celebrating his victory before he even fought Oliveira at 317. And that becomes my next point. Mystic Ilia says, I'm going to knock him out. What do? Knock him out. I'm going to knock out Volk. What do? Knock him out. I'm going to knock out Max. What do? Knock him out. I'm going to knock out Charles Oliveira in round 1. What do? He knocked him out. Mystic Ilia. Ilia is Mystic Mac, man. Basically Mystic Mac. I'll get it done in 1. That was fucking kind of alright McGregor impression, but Mystic Ilia, he says something, it's gonna happen. He sets his mind to something, it's gonna happen. Mystic Ilia. We're going to Mystics right now. We're going to Miss. Superior boxing. Obviously, Ilia is the cleaner boxer than Jack Della Maddalena. Jack Della Maddalena is a scrappy guy. He's a scrappy boxer, but his boxing still is good. But he's more of a scrappy boxer, and Ilia is more of a technique for technique boxer. Tries to look good every time. You see, in a fight, you're not thinking about your technique. You're thinking about landing. You're not thinking about, I'm gonna make sure this right hand looks good. Ilia does that. Like, he's not thinking about that, but when he throws, it looks so good. It looks so good. When he knocked out Max Holloway and he was throwing that hook, he turned over his whole body like you're used to. Turn your hips and your legs, twist over. Perfect left hook, bro. Perfect lead left hook. Technique for technique, perfect. And Jack Della Maddalena, he's more of a scrappy guy. He's just kind of like, he knows how to throw all these combinations, but he's really good at making it dirty and making it hell for the other guy he's fighting, like Bilal. Another point I got. Will be a stand-up fight. So this is going to be a stand-up fight for Ilia. Ilia's, obviously, he has that power and he has that superior IQ on the feet. So this fight will be a stand-up fight. Jack Della Maddalena is not going to take him down, maybe. So what it seems like right now, I think I wrote something different in the cons, but right now I think it will be a stand-up fight. It will be a stand-up fight, and that's where it's Ilia advantage, because Ilia has superior boxing. He has I think, better IQ than Jack Della. And I think Ilia, as long as it's on the feet, he can end the fight any second. So, yeah, man. And Ilia's leg kicks are sneaky, and then against a bigger guy, it seems like when the leg kicks, when you see the leg kicks from when you're going from 125 all the way to heavyweight, it seems like the heavier heavier the weight classes get, the leg kicks get more devastating. So I think a big guy like JDM getting leg kicked and obviously just getting his shit destroyed by Ilia, I think it's gonna affect him more because Jack is a bigger guy. He's a bigger guy, and him having like a compromised leg in his base is going to affect the bigger guy because it takes a lot for him to move around because he is bigger, obviously. So it takes a lot more muscle. It takes a lot more effort for his body to move because he is so big up top. So when he has a compromised point in his body, his calf, and his body's trying to move, his legs are trying to move, use the muscle to move his body, but his muscles are compromised because Ilia is just destroying that calf and is trying to carry, because fucking JDM fights at probably like 185, 190 when he's in the cage. So trying to move around with that 190, 185 when you have a compromised leg, it's not going to be good for JDM. So I have that as a point, as a pro for Ilia. So questions. I have a few questions. This is different. I usually do pros and cons, but I have a question. That gray area, obviously. Will the power translate to 170? So we had that same question for lightweight. It's only 10 pounds heavier, and we know it carried. But is it going to carry 15 pounds up to 170? Is it going to carry against a guy who's fighting at like 190, almost 200 pounds against Jack Della? Is it going to work? Is that power going to translate up 15 more pounds against JDM? Can Ilia bulk properly? Will need time. So obviously you can't just jump from 155 to 170 without any type of muscle building or any type of time to build your muscles to that weight, to build yourself to that weight. Because you've seen the same see it happen with Max Holloway when he went up to 155 to fight against Dustin Poirier. Because Max is in there probably fighting like his weight's probably like 170, 175. Poirier's out there fighting in the octagon when he's like 185, almost to 190. Like Dustin Poirier is a big fucking lightweight. And we see what that happened with Max, bro. The power discrepancy. The power discrepancy in that fight was very obvious. And going for Ilia, who started his career out at 135, moved on to 145, moved on to 155. For him to go up another 15 more pounds to 170, and just without any type of bulking. I know when I think I saw a photo that he was 174 when he got to Vegas on fight week. He probably walks around at I mean, he's in shape 174, but he's cutting down all the way to 155 and rehydrating, which he's probably like 170 or 160 something in the cage. But he's gonna need to put on muscle and mass to fight JDM, because JDM is a fucking huge guy, man. He's fucking big. He's only like he's 5'11", which is Charles Oliveira was 5'11", but JDM's a lot thicker, bro. A lot more steam behind those shots. So Ilia's gonna need time to bulk up to 170. And here we go to the cons. That red area. Jack will be bigger. Fights at 180 to 190 in the cage. Jack is bigger. Jack will be bigger. That's obvious. He's going to be the bigger guy. He's going to be using his physicality to an advantage when it comes to the striking and overall, just overwhelming with Ilia with his power. And another point, a scrappy, dirty fight benefits Jack more. That is true, because a scrappy, dirty fight benefits Jack a lot more, because Jack Della's Madalena's way of winning is making it scrappy, making it dirty. Dirty boxing. The whole fight. That's how he wins. That's how he beats people. Is that scrappy, dirty boxing. And that scrappy, dirty boxing is got him his W's, man. Got him the wins. And that scrappy, dirty boxing is going to benefit him more, because Ilia is a technique for technique fighter. And then when Jack's over there smothering him and making it dirty, using his physicality and his overall, his bullying techniques with Jack Della Maddalena, when he's using that against Ilia, it could overwhelm Ilia. Jack Della making it look dirty, and making it not really about technique, just straight dirty boxing. I remember fucking JDM was grabbing Rafael Hafez's hand and fucking punching him with the other hand, like some straight like, give me, like, where's my motherfucking money type shit. Dirty fighting, dirty boxing, and Jack can always go to the grappling using his size to smudge Ilia. That is another thing, man. You know, obviously Jack Della is training with Craig Jones. And what we see with Craig Jones is that he's really good. He's really good at training fighters to negate the grappling against pure wrestling fighters like Islam or Bilal. But we could see a Craig Jones camp for Jack Della to use his size to beat Ilia, to smudge Ilia. And obviously this is a pretty obvious game plan or option for Jack Della, and that's to smudge Ilia, take Ilia down, use your size to beat him. And yes, that is a possibility. The bigger guy, what we see with guys moving up is that the bigger guys, the bigger grapplers, the grapplers overall, usually when they're fighting people at their own weight class and they move up and they're fighting somebody who is usually 10, 15 pounds more than their average opponent in the cage, man, it makes a big difference. Because when they're big like that, man, when they're big, when they're on top of you and they're stronger than you and they're just using their size to the advantage to beat you and smudge you overall, that's a big advantage. That's a big game plan advantage for JDM. Using his size to smudge Ilia. Use that Craig Jones system in an offensive way to smudge Ilia. Jack has a great chin. Jack takes big shots, man. Jack's been hit with some fucking bombs. And he always takes it like a fucking champ. Always takes it like a champ. And always returns. Great chin from Max. But also that's going to be, will the power translate to 170? And he's never been hit by Ilia Topuria. And he will use those teep kicks properly and effectively. We see him use them against Bilal, those front kicks and teep kicks. Bilal is kind of the same height, same size as JDM. And those were working though. Against a smaller opponent, shorter, less reach opponent, those front kicks and teep kicks, if used effectively, will be great and devastating. Catching those front kicks right down the middle. Boom. Teep kick to the body. Teep kick to the body. Mix it up. Front kick right through the guard against Ilia. Right through Ilia's guard. Straight to the chin. That could happen. That is a possibility for Jack. And using those front kicks and teep kicks effectively to the body and going to the body like Jack Della loves doing can add up if this fight goes longer than the fucking first and second and third round into those championship rounds. And he could take Ilia to the deep waters. You know, Jack Della like fighting Gilbert Burns and going in there with me. It's like going from the kiddie pool to the bottom end of the ocean. Bilal reference. And Jack Della, if he uses those teep kicks properly and effectively, man, it can make a big difference in this fight against a smaller, shorter, less rangy opponent like Ilia. And my final point, my final con for Ilia Topuria is that Jack won't be scared. Jack doesn't give a fuck, man. Jack, he's a warrior. He's a scrappy guy. He's going to go out there and scrap with you. He doesn't care. And him knowing that he's fighting a smaller guy who started his career out fighting at bantamweight, he's going to go out there with a fucking cocky mindset. Like, I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of this fucking little kid. I'm going to beat the shit out of this boy. And I'm going to beat the shit out of this boy. And, yeah, man. He's like, I'm going to beat the shit out of this boy. I'm going to touch him later, too. Something like that. But, yes, Jack won't be scared of Ilia. He's not going to be scared because Jack is that type of guy. He doesn't care who he's fighting or where he's fighting or how he's compromised. He's going to go out there and fucking scrap. He's going to go out there and fight like his life fucking depends on it. And I think he'll use those fucking teep kicks correctly and effectively, man. And he will not be scared of Ilia's power, of Ilia's anything, unless he gets hit, of course. Until he gets hit, of course. That's what I meant to say. He won't be scared of Ilia, man. He's not going to be scared of that power because overall, he's a scrappy guy. He doesn't give a fuck. He's there to fight. He loves fighting. And overall, man, can he beat JDM at 170? Yes and no. What is it looking more like right now? It looks like he'll lose. But I don't know, man. That's where the questions come into play. Will the power translate to 170? Can he bulk properly? Overall, man. And will JDM use those teep kicks properly, which I believe he will? And is he going to make the fight so fucking dirty and scrappy that and those knees in the clinch, man, those knees up the middle to where Ilia just crumbles. He just can't keep up. Can't keep up, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Overall, that is my video, guys. Again, why Ilia Topuria would be the GOAT? I believe he'll be the GOAT because he's gonna dominate lightweight. He's gonna beat Islam, and that's another question. Can he beat JDM at 170? I said no. He said yes and no. So I think he will be the greatest of all time. Overall, I think he will. Mystic Ilia. He's gonna make everyone look easy. And when you think about it, Josh Emmett, Bryce. Okay, Yusuf Zalal, Bryce Mitchell, Josh Emmett, fucking Volkanovski, Holloway, to Oliveira, undefeated. So when you look into that, he's already better than Khabib. Higher on the GOAT list. And then now if he dominates a new division, which I think he will, Armin, Paddy, and Gaethje, he's already up there for greatest of all time. Already. Undefeated. Dominated, basically, beat the best in every division. Lightweight and featherweight. Beats Islam, the definite greatest fighter of all time. Immediately, the greatest fighter of all time. Greatest UFC fighter of all time. And if he beats JDM gets that third belt, cherry on top. The cherry on top of his perfect career overall, man. So that's why I think Ilia Topuria will be the greatest fighter of all time. And yeah, dude. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for clicking on the video and spending time to go through the video and watch it all. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys. Peace.